Mechanicking 101 with me, Chris Pritchard. Alright, let me start this video by saying if you're looking for professional advice on how to bleed some Shimano hydraulic brakes on a mountain bike, this video is not for you. If you're a keen amateur mechanic and you're thinking about doing it yourself and you want to see if another keen amateur mechanic can actually do it, then this video is for you. So for those of you who don't know, I've just been on a 2-day mechanicking course with the people who run the curriculum here in the UK. So if you want to be a bike mechanic in the bike industry, you have to go and spend 2 weeks to get level 3 with those guys. I spent 2 days with them and we stripped my road bike down, put it all back together, replaced a few parts. One thing I wanted to do, however, was to bleed these brakes because they're horrendous. So the guys up there showed me, in theory, what I need to do. They actually showed me on an example on a road bike, but they said the theory is the same, the practice is the same, just do this. So here I am, just trying it. So I've got front and rear brakes that both need bleeding. I've got a bleed kit that I ordered from Amazon. I know it's not official, I don't care. All right, it's good enough. So we're gonna see how we get on as I try and bleed these bloody brakes. Right, so before we get started, let's take a look at the bleed kit that I got from Amazon. Slightly different to what I'd seen online from other companies, but there's an instruction manual. It says it's for Shimano disc brakes, 2 syringes, mineral brake fluid. Again, people will probably say it has to be original Shimano. I've seen people use baby oil. Don't worry about it. An open-ended spanner, 2 tubes, a caliper block to hold those pistons back, and also I'm going to call that red thing a nipper, that just nips the hose to stop it coming out, and then a little brass doofer. Yeah, I've also brought some of my own tools, so I've got this is essential: brake and parts cleaner. Got some gloves just to make myself look professional, a couple of Allen keys, kitchen roll. I would have used blue roll, but I'm not professional enough and I didn't have any, and just some towels to mop up the mess that I'm no doubt going to make. All right, let's begin with this front brake. The first thing I'm going to have to do you know what, it's not too bad, but it's the issue for me with this is the engagement of that brake comes in far too late, and then when you start to apply it, it's coming straight back to the bar. So it definitely needs slight bleeding. It doesn't need new fluid because it's a brand new bike, but it definitely needs that little bit of give taken out of it. I want it to kind of start here rather than way back there. Now I'm sure if you're a professional, if you're a professional mountain biker, you'll probably say, oh, that's where it should be, but okay. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is, I don't know why I need to, well, I do know why I need to do this. I just need to level out this caliper, master cylinder. Don't even know what they're called. So I'm going to level out the master cylinder so it's nice and level, so it's easier to get the fluid out of it. I kind of know how to do this in theory. I've done it on motorcycles in the past, so it's not like I'm an absolute noob at this. But as I say, I'm not very well versed in hydraulic brakes on bikes at the minute, so we'll level those 2 off to begin with, and then I'm going to pick up the instructions and start reading. Remove the plunger from one of the syringes and attach the syringe to a hose, the clamp and a nozzle. On the other one, just attach a hose. And then the other thing to do is just make sure that if there is an adjuster on this, which I think there is, so by undoing this adjuster screw, which I think this is, or am I pushing that in there? Oh, it's the wrong way around. So screw it in, should be taking any pressure off of... You what? Leave this to a professional? No chance. Remove the brake pads to avoid contaminating them with oil. I wasn't going to do this, but seeing as I'm filming it now, I'm going to, so I look pro. So I need a 6mm Allen key to get this bad boy out. So hopefully front wheel, hey, look at that, just drops out. I'm gonna put that axle back in there just so I know where it is. As well leave the 6mm in there. So then next up we just need to take these brake pads out, which should be a simple, I could do with reusing that, but. So some calipers have split pins in them, some have bolts in them. This one's got a split pin in. This is where having the right tools really comes into its own. So I really don't want to mark these calipers. That came out easy enough. I'll just pop that down there. So now from that should mean Those pads come straight out, hardly worn, bloody lovely. And just make sure you don't touch the actual pad, it's the braking surface, because if you've got any oil on your hands or on your gloves, it's going to contaminate it. And the last thing we want is contamination. So once that is in there, that protects the pistons from coming out. No danger of the pistons coming out now. Attach the hose of the syringe filled with approximately 20 ml of mineral oil to the bleed nipple on the caliper. The bleed nipple, it's there. I wonder where that bad boy was. All right, to hold up this this syringe in an upright position, I'm going to attach it to the fork leg. But the only thing I can find is some garden ties that you tie plants up with, but should still do the bloody job. So now you can remove the bleed screw from the reservoir tank. Screw is fitted with an O-ring. Do not lose the O-ring. Screw the syringe with the hose and nozzle. Ah, right, okay, yeah. So the shorter this is, the more upright it's gonna be, so hopefully we can just screw this in and it's gonna stay upright. Boom, that'll do, look at that. Wonderful. Nice and tight on there. So I think this here is the screw we undo, because here we've got a bleed nipple, but we've got no attachment to it. So there's no screw to it, which means you must have to undo this one to bleed it. So this will open up a cavity, which will allow fluid to pass through up into the cable all the way to the top. But before we do that, a quick word from our sponsor, Yorkshire Tea. There's no better than a good brew. They're not really sponsored, I'm just having a break. All right, so this is really the first bit of unknown territory that I'm about to go into. Everything so far has been fine. Just need to hopefully undo this nipple that's going to allow air to get, well, fluid to get through. But the thing is, I'm not fully bleeding it because it's all brand new fluid. So all I need to do really is get the air out, which I could have potentially done just by opening that bleed screw up and pumping the brake a few times. But we're here now, we're doing it this way. So there we go. Oh, there we go, the air's come out. So you can see the air. Well, you can't see it, but I can. So now let's put that back. Let's make that a bit better. Maybe use electrician's tape. So all we need to do now is depress the plunger of the filled syringe on the brake caliper. You can now see the empty syringe attached to the brake lever filling up with oil. If air was in the system, you'll be able to see air bubbles rise. Oh, right, here we go. So I'm going to plunge this down. Hey up, there you go. Well, I don't want to put any more than that in really. I think I've done it. From time to time, you can also pull back the lever quickly and release the brake lever, loosen up small air bubbles. Yeah, that's what we used to do on motorbikes. So I recommend tapping the brake caliper, that sometimes does it. Not one air bubble have I seen in all that, which I guess is a good thing, right? So if I pull the syringe back through, it lowers the oil at the top, obviously. And if I just pop it back through. All right, I think it's as easy as that. Now, if I was changing the oil, all I would do is just make sure I'm pumping enough oil through, well, 20 mils of it to get all the way through. So once I've done the bleed nipple on the bottom, I should now be able to take off the syringe with the oil in it, right? Right, so I've undone that. Now we should have, according to them, a solid brake here. Oh baby! That's engaging before I've even thought about pressing the brake. Beautiful. So we clamp that off. So now that's airtight. We unscrew it. Just have to be wary of where that's going to go so we don't spill it. We do. What if I put it through there like that? Oh, that nearly fits like a gem. Oh, there you go. Look, Wahoo desk. Not just for Wahooing on. So then my O-ring and my little screw. I guess the torque on that is not too bloody tight. The rubber dust cover goes back over the bleed nipple. The spacer block can come out. Pads can go back in. All right, Pritchard, don't be a dick. Get your pads back in. But you'll know when you've got it right, because next up, good opportunity just to flatten that out. Pop that bad boy all the way through. Bend the end. Not coming out of there, chief. Got another spray. Brake cleaner. Alright, so I don't consider myself a mechanic by any stretch of the imagination. I know there's people out there who claim that I'm a terrible mechanic. Is that the right size? No, it's not. See? I told you. I'm a terrible mechanic. However, I can now torque it up to the right torque setting. So we want to be at 9 plus. Guess you wouldn't do this normally, would you? But we're being pro. 6 mil, there you go. That's it. Let's have a feel at this brake. Oh yeah. Much better. And then to finish off, let's get that reach back to how it was with the right size Allen key. Dickhead. This one. Oh wow. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you bleed brakes. Listen, I'm not a mechanic, I'm not professionally trained. I just watched a few YouTube videos, I learned from a professional mechanic, and I felt confident enough to do it. I do have a little bit of experience when it comes to mechanicing. If you don't feel confident doing this, your brakes are the only thing that stop you from hitting a tree, from hitting a car, from not making it around a bend. So don't. If you don't feel confident, do not attempt this at home. Make sure you get a professional to do it. Or send it to Pritch. I'll do it. Like half the price of what a professional will charge. If you want Pritch to do it, I can't guarantee it. I can only guarantee mine will be half as good as what the mechanic could do for you, but the offer's there. So this isn't a how-to video. This is merely advice from one amateur to potentially another amateur thinking about bleeding up their brake. Much better. Ah, doig like a doiger. Right, everybody, make sure you hit that like button if you've enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button. If there's any other mechanical things you would like me to try and tackle in my own amateurish way, then feel free. And before any professional mechanics get involved, or those that are amateurs who think they're professionals, who know everything about everything, unless it's constructive criticism, unless you can actually add anything of value to this video, just don't worry about it. Hopefully, might have installed a bit of confidence into somebody who can actually do it themselves, save themselves a little bit of money, and get to know their bike a little bit more. Until next time, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell so you know when we go live with our videos. And until next time, sit there. Hey.